gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Turn up the bass. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. Enter co-host, hailing from the valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Turn up the bass. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I'm your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi. And one of the people joining me this evening is the full-time part-timer himself, fresh off of AEW Dynamite in Fishers, Indiana. It's Ian Garavaglia. Ian, what's up, dog?
What's up, dog? Yeah, I woke up exhausted. I don't know about you. Actually, I do know about you. You also woke up more exhausted than I am, but story for probably 5 minutes from now. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling tired, but it's a good tired right now because we have a special guest today, and we have a pay-per-view. Well, to recap.
I guess it's a recap of sorts. As you can see, though, it's not just Ian and I. Some people can't see it because we actually do have a lot of people that are audio listeners. So shout out to Steve, who actually had us in his top 3, by the way, on Spotify recap. But producer Bert is in the house. Brett, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Life. Just working, staying alive. That's what it's all about.
And producing for the greatest wrestling podcast in all of the land, correct?
Correct.
That's what we love to see. But we figured we'd bring you in since Tucky's not feeling well tonight. He originally planned on being here. We're going to briefly touch on Survivor Series, probably talk about our night because as people saw, we were at Dynamite last night sitting third row frequently on your television screen. So it's great to see you guys again if you did see me last night. But Ian, that was a great time. I know, sometimes on AEW, things might not come off great on television, maybe if you're just watching from home. But man, something about that live AEW experience, it's just different.
Yeah, this is how it was last year, too, in Fishers. Like, Fishers is technically out of Indianapolis, but we're right there, so we're considered an Indianapolis crowd. Last year was kind of the same thing. In person, I was like, it was an all right crowd, I guess. I'm shocked they're coming back because they already said, Tony kind of came out at the end of the show and said, we'll be back next year. And I was like, okay, I'll be there. Cool. And it was kind of the same thing because you kind of brought it up, too, while we were there. You're like, that didn't seem like the crowd was that into it. There was definitely more people there this year, and it felt louder. Also helps that we were 3 rows back from
It's wild, because, us 3 have all been third row, first row to a GCW show. But that's different. Independent wrestling is a different experience. To be there, Brett, and I don't know if you've ever been that close to, a television production in wrestling, it's just surreal because wrestlers were just walking by us. We got to kind of interact. Ian was verbally getting into an altercation with Daniel Garcia. It was fantastic.
It sucked.
Wow.
You ever been that close, Brett?
No. Sporting events, football games, yes. Never anything that close with wrestling.
Fair enough. Hats up, brothers. Yeah, we're all wearing hats today. I don't know if that's what he was...
Trend. Yeah, no, I'd imagine so.
I've always been a hat guy for reasons.
It always depends on if I am fresh out of the shower or not, because if I have gel in the hair, I can keep it back. After the shower, it just gets frizzy. It goes to an afro.
Oh, look who's in the chat, too. Shout out to Brittany stopping by. She said it
sick.
was sick. Yeah,
that.
she was loving it. I was sitting next to a big boy. There's a lot of big boys that go to wrestling shows. I won't go any further than that, but I do want to point out that Dirk was one of the first people in the chat. And I tell you what, Brett, Dirk, that's a fantastic name right there.
Well, anybody named Dirk sounds like a stand-up individual.
What a name, right? Dirk Van Fleet.
It's a great name.
Every time.
For that one.
It's a great name.
It's every week, I feel like. He's here every week. Dirk's always in the chat. Bill said he was front row for SmackDown NXT Invasion episode. I think that might have been the one where the talent was stuck because of travel issues, right? And then NXT showed up. Does that sound right?
That is correct. I do remember that because I was close to December time too, right? Yeah.
There had to be a winter storm, and then Adam Cole was there, and just all the NXT superstars. That was a fun one, Bill. And it makes sense because Bill's from Buffalo. So look at us connecting the dots over here. But hey, we are going to talk Survivor Series, and we do have a guest coming in about 24 minutes. We got Steve Tortorello from not Pro Wrestling Ventures, from Warrior Wrestling. Yes, I can finally say that again. He'll be joining us at the top of the hour to talk about their show, their return for Warrior Wrestling, Resurrection, happening at Half Acre Brewery as Brett just got sniped. I was about to make a joke, and I'm glad I did not say it out loud.
I got a U-shaped desk, so so just hitting the elbow sometimes. It just a funny bone.
That wasn't funny, was it?
It wasn't. Didn't laugh at all.
I laughed.
Closest I've ever been was 4 rows back for a WWE live show. That's always fun. You gotta love the house shows too. And look at that. You say Warrior's name and they appear. I'm sure that is Henry. So if it is Henry, happy birthday, dude. He is the man that runs the show on social media, does all the cool editing. They just did a pre-show as well for tomorrow's show. And like I said, Steve joining us at the top of the hour. Brittany says that the third row was awesome. You love that. Your girlfriend had a great time, right, Ian?
She did. Her reviews were, I'm glad I was able to go, but I'm going to let you have guys' night next time. So her first experience being third row is kind of a tough ask, but she got into it for a little bit of it.
Yeah, she was there. Yeah. And shout out to Josh. Yeah, definitely. Brittany, good shout out there, Brittany. That gets you points for the MVM that's not on the line. Josh is another guy that gave us a follow on social media, so hopefully he's checking this out. He was a good hang, so shout out to Josh for sure. But Brett, actually no, we got to plug some shit, don't we? God, I'm not. It's like I've done this for the first time. Guys, if you want to support the show, the best way to do so is by going to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. And Ian, if people are unfamiliar of what kind of things we got to offer, why don't you tell them what we got on this website?
Well, I would absolutely show you in person, well, not on camera stuff you can get. Besides this hat is the only thing that's clean right now. Everything else I have worn this week, so it isn't the dirty clothes. But you get tank tops, you get T-shirts, you get the #1 bestseller, the honorary Mark shirt that is still probably our bestseller. But just in time for the holidays, you get a stocking hat with our logo on it, get some tapestry for your wall, which I need to buy still.
What about what you were wearing last night to Dynamite?
I was going to say, you get the holiday sweater that is still on the website. It is my favorite thing, and I wore that at AEW Dynamite. So if you want to see what that design looks like, either go to the website or go watch Dynamite, because I was probably on there.
What he said. And that's funny, Brett, you were commenting that, and I heard you typing.
Yeah.
Your keyboard's kind of loud.
My keyboard's loud. I got loud keys on both my keyboards. So I apologize if you hear some clacking. That's me.
That's fair. Fair enough. You're a producer. That's what you do.
That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
The leader right now in MVM reigns, though, for 2025, Bill Moss, says useless information, but I was just at my grandma's, and she loves cage matches in wrestling, so I showed her Fletcher versus Ospreay from Revolution. Ian, that's probably a really good one to show her.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cage matches from AEW. Swerve and Hangman, I think that would have been their third match.
Yeah,
it was a really good
after the house got burned down.
Yeah, and then you got Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks, which still is my favorite AEW match of all time.
Still is my favorite one, too. Yep, steel cage, right? And then they were using weapons and everything, too, in that match, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic stuff. And it was great stuff last night at Dynamite. So, once again, shout out to Tony Khan. They really know how to make it affordable for the pro wrestling fan. And this isn't a shot. Guys, this is just an overall observation of a professional wrestling company. It's a good live experience. So I highly recommend, if you haven't gone to an AEW show, give it a try. You might like it. And if you like that, you like professional wrestling, you probably should be following us on all the socials at Hot on the Mark. And check out the Main Event Wrestling Network, because there's so many great things happening over there. And a little inside baseball for everybody out there. I think the Main Event Wrestling Network will be there live at SummerSlam next year in Minneapolis, and there's going to be a lot of us. So I think we should probably just go load up on the merch, guys, and just start handing it out, right? That's probably the best way to go about it.
I would imagine so. That's good marketing.
Right?
In a box.
Yeah, big old box.
What's in the fucking box? That's
Yeah.
what I had to say last night, too.
That's exactly right.
MJF return happening in Manchester. That's right. They're going there next week, and Kine will be there. So double dose of the OTM community going to Dynamite. You'll love to see it. Bill says, I got to go with their ladder match at All Out is my favorite AEW match. Omega vs. Pac is my favorite Dynamite match. Two good ones.
Shout as well, yeah.
Fuck it is a shot. WWE ain't for the fans anymore. It's for the money and the celebs. It's fuck TKO.
Wow.
So that's like the popular social media,
Wow.
statement. I don't fully agree with it. I see why people are frustrated,
I
but
do like their money.
it's Disney, like we always say.
Yeah.
WWE's
Listen,
Disney.
everybody's got their opinion. Everybody's got what they enjoy and what they consider entertaining. So some people, still like the product. Some people are indifferent about the product, and then there are people who absolutely hate the product right now.
Hey.
And again, that you're gonna see that amongst everything. So doesn't matter. Be respectful of other people's opinions is all I'm saying.
And like what you like.
Exactly.
Like, just because someone else doesn't like what you like doesn't mean you need to block them.
Oh, fuck you! You don't like my shit, you piece of shit!
I think everybody's ears just exploded. So I apologize to anybody that put that in their headphones whatsoever. Bill, apparently people did, because I got dragged for that post after tweeting about that, which is pretty wild. Pretty wild. Yeah, that's fair, Kind. I get it. Tino's in the house. Shout out to Tino. Speaking of the Main Event Wrestling Network. Love to see it. My team takes on your guys' team, the Chicago Bears, this Sunday. That's where I'll be this weekend in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Go Bears!
For you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's going to be an interesting
Bears.
podcast next week when the Packers win.
Listen, I think it's just going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really good game.
I do too.
And that's all I can ask for. Didn't think the Bears were going to be here at this record at this point in time. So everything is house money at this point, and I'm just here. I'm just along for the ride.
Hey, you know what? I think we've stalled enough. We have to talk about Survivor Series.
We do.
We
have
do,
18
because
minutes.
I keep
We have
forgetting
18
we
minutes.
do. We do have a guest. We're not really going to
18
get into the
minutes.
specifics of every match because Survivor Series is kind of like old news by now. It happened last weekend, but let me be honest. My opinions is the first half was actually a solid show. I enjoyed the first half of Survivor Series. It's just after the Cena and Dom match for me, that's when things started to fall out. So, do you guys just want to go straight to the bad of Survivor Series? Do you actually want to go match by match?
Yeah, go through. We only got 4 matches.
All right, let's talk about the women's war game because I was actually pleased with it. I don't know about you guys. Lash Legend, as we kind of expected, comes out looking like a single star going forward. Io Sky, a little twist at the end there for the finish with the garbage can. She got lifted up there, obviously, and did a moonsault, and it was incredible as always. But Ian, overall, I thought that was a good way to start Survivor Series. How'd you feel about the way they put together that women's war games?
Yeah, it's really tough to say because, again, we don't want to compare at all, and it's really tough, like genuinely really tough, going from that Blood and Guts match, the women's Blood and Guts match, to this, because it's supposed to be the same idea, same concept, all-out war kind of concept, but all that being taken away, I love the violence and stuff of everything, so going to the Disney side of it, it was good for what it could be, because obviously they're not going to go do some crazy stuff with glass, but again, if that would have happened, I would have absolutely loved it. I think everybody played their part well, and it was nice seeing Lash Legend get that call.
Yeah, she was last to come into the match,
Yeah,
so that
which-
obviously is saying something.
I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Her theme song's terrible, though. Get it, girl. What are we doing?
Suck it!
But she's good.
Yeah,
She's
pretty
good.
She's got potential. And I think this is a good point, too, from Bill, that, I'm not going to point out the fact that there was the least amount of botches, but it seemed like a very well-orchestrated War Games match, Brett, to where the timing wasn't off, because that's the problem sometimes with these multi-person matches, is that timing is a big issue, but it seemed like everybody was hitting their spots, and I thought it flowed pretty well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the women that I've noticed since I've started watching a few years ago is that most, if not all of them, have the same pace. So they're all very comfortable in the ring with each other. They all move at the same speed. Now, obviously, some are quicker than others, but some are stronger. Doesn't matter. Like, again, if you're moving at the same speed, moving at the same comfortability level as everybody else, it's gonna look very fluent and very cohesive, and that's what they did. And it was a good overall. It was a good match. I think there could have been, I guess,
Wasn't
some
great.
nitpicky things. Yeah, there could have been some nitpicky things. I like EO's spot. I wish it would just be different. I mean, they're just kind of calling the encores of stuff, right? Let EO kind of explore with what.
But at least
I'm
this
sure
was
EO
the
can do
finish.
something
That's
great.
what I like. Like, this actually involved the finish in this one.
For sure. So yeah. No, again, decent match. I wasn't blown away. I wasn't like, oh my god, I want to see that match again. But
Well, the problem is, like, they're fighting for really no reason.
right, and we touched
It's
on
war
that.
games for the sake of
We
war
touched
games.
on that in the podcast before, where it's just like, what are you doing for me? Like, what is this? You're just throwing a bunch of people into a match and being like, all right, there we
And
go.
that's exactly kind of my thoughts on both of the War Games matches, where you have so many feuds. They're forcing feuds to intermingle when they don't need to be whatsoever. And like you said, having War Games for the sake of having War Games. I agree. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with us. And if you disagree, you don't have to block us. It's okay, guys.
No, block me,
We'll
please. I
get
don't
through
want
this
to deal with
together.
Yeah, you can block me.
Actually, you probably
Personally.
should block us because we don't want that crap on our feet. That's well said, boys. Next year, they shouldn't do war games. This year, both matches were forced for the sake of it. They had a few. Yeah, that's another good point. MFTs and Wyatts were like T's for one, and that at least has a reason to be something, you know? This was nothing.
Yep.
I thought they were gonna do that. So like the match that was with Sami Zayn and all those
Yeah,
guys.
the
They,
traditional match.
I thought that's where they were going with the Wyatts and the MFTs, and then when
Yeah,
I tuned
same.
in and I saw it was them, I was like, what?
It's a
Why?
miss. Yeah.
I was like, why? And then it's like, oh well, Sammy has been in the previous ones. I'm like, I don't give a shit. He's not
I
a
would
part
rather-
of any
yeah.
of these angles. Like,
I would rather see the Wyatts
stop
than
forcing
Sammy.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd pull the Wyatts, which is one of your coolest acts on television? I don't understand, but I do understand what they did in that Intercontinental Championship match. I mean, it was in Dom's hometown. He gets the win. A lot of outside interference, shenanigans, whatever you want to call it, but I think that's exactly what we were expecting. We talked about that last week, is that the in-ring was never going to be anything special. It's John Cena in his second to last match, and Dom, who is still a younger wrestler, but he's not known for his in-ring, if that makes sense. So you get Roxanne Perez involved, you get Raquel, and the return of Liv Morgan, Ian. I think that's really cool because now Roxanne, Raquel, and Liv all get elevated by John Cena's final run just by being a part of that match.
I think you could have just said Judgment Day in general. You had Finn and JD involved in the match
True.
as well. I think this is obvious. I think
Match
we're
of
going
the
to agree
night.
this is match of the night.
Yeah.
Didn't take much, but I think it exceeded what I expected for the match, which is kind of crazy to say.
Yep.
The thing with Dom's gimmick, or the whole Eddie gimmick with cheating, is sometimes it could feel pretty forced. I felt that for a second until they did the shoulder spot, and I was like, oh, that was really well played. The boot coming off, please stop that. It's
It's a
it
signature
looks
thing.
so
You know, there's
dumb.
going to be a Mattel figure with the boot and
It
everything.
looks so dumb. I'm sorry, but no, everything. Even like going into Raw, we have the new Judgment Day, the new look of Judgment Day, and they continue to evolve. And Judgment Day is not going anywhere. Now we're finally probably getting that Civil War here really soon with Judgment Day. So,
And
I love the match.
They've been a faction for a long ass time too. It's had to be like 4 years now. I could be wrong, somewhere around there. But Brett, what do you think about this one with Dom and Cena?
I think it was well orchestrated, at least again for the second to last match for Cena, last PLE match. Again, I think Tuck and I mentioned it in the previous one where it makes more sense for Dom to go over in this situation, get his title back, get the win against Cena. It wasn't clean, but again, I think at this point it does wonders for the Judgment Day ultimately, because I thought, and I think we had talked about it before, that they were kind of tapering off a little bit, and everybody was kind of like, all right, when are they going to break up? When's Finn going to do this? And that's inevitably it's going to happen. But now you kind of prop them back up on that platform for it to be a little bit more fulfilling when it happens. So overall, again, best match of the night, and I thought well orchestrated.
Yeah, well said, Brett. And Cena ending on a nice round 100 PLE wins. We like that. That does look nice.
We do
visually.
like round numbers.
I didn't know that was.
Yeah. I wonder if that was scripted, guys.
No.
I don't know if you could have scripted that any better. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what some people are saying. Is anyone else getting a little over and done with the constant interference in wrestling matches? So that's honestly a fair point that I've noticed a lot too recently. I can see why you would be getting annoyed with it because I am slightly. It's not bothering me. I don't know about you guys.
it's definitely something I noticed more. Sorry, Ian, I didn't want to cut you off. I'll be really short. It's definitely something I've noticed more than what it was in the early 2010s. So it's definitely something I've spotted as well. But
they're protecting people, right, Ian? That's what it seems like trying to.
The issue with it is live crowds love the constant running in the ring because it's that moment.
Oh, they love shenanigans. Yeah.
And that's all they care about. The people back home are still going to watch. And it goes back to that, and I hate to say it, but it's
about the fans there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Screw the fans at home.
Well, I mean, it is equally important to speak to the camera. I mean, look at COVID-era wrestling, for example. Like, that mattered, but I do see what you're saying. Yes, it's a different experience when you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could... Yeah, I keep going on a tangent.
Do you want to talk about Stephanie Valkyrie and Nikki Bella?
Nope.
I mean, Nick, it wasn't that bad of a match. And honestly, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be fair.
I shoveled my driveway. I'm just gonna come right out and say I shoveled my driveway.
That's why he's the producer, guys.
Yeah, I watched Stephanie. To be fair, I watched the end of the match. I did get back for the end of the match, but I watched the intros, and then I was like, I'm gonna shovel my driveway before my wife gets home, so she doesn't have a tough time getting up with the driveway. So
smart. She's prego.
Man.
Yeah.
Aren't you about to have your second here like any day now?
Next Tuesday is the induction. So could be as early as Tuesday, could be as late as Wednesday. So we'll see.
A new baby coming to the OTM community.
Yep.
We love to see it. And Ian, I think this is a fair recap though of that match, right?
Yeah, but here's my issue with Stephanie's title run. Where are all of these, main event talent, and they're all in that tag team scene, and I don't know why.
Well, the tag team division's great. The women's tag team division.
It doesn't mean anything, though. That's my
It
issue
means something now because it's probably way better than the singles division.
It just puts Stephanie in such a tough spot. Like, you have to think they really thought Nikki Bella was actually going to be a hit coming back. Like,
no, they 100% did. That's why they brought her back at 30 in the Rumble. They thought this was going to be
good point.
A massive draw.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's not. And it's like, I get baffled every time I scroll on Twitter and I see so many people being like, she's serving, she's doing so well. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's serving us a nice plate of shit every time she's on the television screen.
It's just namesake-wise.
Don't ever put that into the ether, all right? He said,
please don't bring another Bella. Please don't.
No pre-mode.
Keep her at home.
They have nothing to fall back on for Valkyrie right now. Like, that's my biggest concern. Like
seriously, no, it's got to be Liv.
I was just gonna say it's Liv.
She's stuck with Judgment Day.
But
they're all going for gold. They're all going to try going for gold. So they're going to have the tag,
and then Liv will go for the main. Yep.
Exactly.
And then you have a faction with gold again, with Dom with the IC, Liv with the women's title after she beats Stephanie, and then Roxanne and Raquel will probably get the back.
All right, we got 7 minutes for the last one.
All right, men's War Games, man. So the actual match itself, when the bell rang, 5 minutes. Jey Uso enters the match. Let's run it back. We're in the middle of a War Games match. Play my music again.
I'm more than just an intro.
Guys, I love professional wrestling. I love the WWE. And I loved Jey Uso for the majority of 2025. But that, Ian, I can't with that. That's coming from Disney gags over here. I love the WWE. I love corny shit, but no, that's a hard pass for me.
Hey, you know what I want to say? I said it about 5 minutes ago. Who cares about the people at home? People in the arena still love it.
They did, I know.
And now they got another clip out of it because it was really cool to watch. no one cares about it back home, but doesn't matter.
Was the clip viral because of Jey Uso though, or because Brock's
music
interrupted
hitting? Yeah, that was probably the best part of the match is Brock's music hitting when Jey was doing that shit.
Yeah.
And then seriously, all you're gonna give us is 5 minutes with this all-star lineup of baby faces on the other side. That's all we get. And granted, Braun Breaker got the win. That's great. We said that last week as well. As long as Braun Breaker gets the win, we'll say it's all right. But I still feel disappointed, Brett, after getting that as my main event. Like, the fans were booing afterwards.
Yeah, we were gypped. It was a horrible match. It wasn't good. It was slop, which is exactly what I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. Again, they tried to hype it up with no real build-up whatsoever, so nobody was that excited outside of the fact that it's got all these big names in it. And then for, like you said, to get 5 minutes out of it, ultimately, and it was just like, and then for how it ended as well, like...
It wasn't even violent!
I would have much rather have had Braun just continue to do what he was doing and beat the shit out of him and pin him than have... What's-his-face jump over the cage. It wasn't Rollins. Jump over the cage and curb stomp him. What's his fucking
Austin
name?
Theory.
Austin
I mean,
Theory.
that's the popular theory.
It looked like his build, but...
I've seen Montez Ford speculated, which I would love.
The fact that it's like they didn't even bring it up. Like, I mean, they brought it up.
They didn't address it, though, on Monday Night Raw.
But it's just like... They're literally trying to push it under the rug already. They're already like, that we didn't get a good reaction as we thought. Now they're like, let's act like it didn't happen. And it's like, oh no, not again.
Bill, that's another thing. I don't even remember a spot in the match where they should have been cut open, you know? Like, I didn't think there was that much physicality in it. And I love a lot of that talent in that match. It was disappointing other than the fact that Braun Breaker is the one that comes out of this looking like the bigger star. A guy that probably... I would say is the favorite to win the Royal Rumble right now. Like, if you guys were to pick, I think we all would probably say Braun Breaker for the men.
Sami Zayn still.
Ooh, I forgot. I do.
Saudi.
Because of what it's in Saudi.
Are you guys excited to wake up at 11 a.m. to watch the Royal Rumble?
I'm going to be a pirate about 12 hours after that.
Yeah.
You're always a pirate.
I mean, I'll be awake, but there's not a chance I'll be watching it. So
they'll save it for Monday. My problem is, like, I feel like some of the PLEs that the WWE has been running are just being used as like a placeholder PLE. So all these people are spending hundreds and thousands of dollars to, travel and go and do all the things that WWE has to offer, which is a great time. And then you go to that show, you get 4 matches, and you come out of that and saying that maybe 2 were good. I'd be like, okay, that's a waste of money. And then that's why I sent that out on X, and I got heat saying that this is why I'm waiting for Elimination Chamber, because you can't be guaranteed that you're going to get your money's worth. And I think that's fair. Is it not?
Put effort. Put effort into it.
I'm not gonna buy $300 tickets for it. They're in Indy here soon. I'm pretty sure for Raw in February.
That's probably going to cost a fortune for Monday Night Raw
$300
tickets.
tickets for nosebleeds. I ain't gonna be there.
He ain't gonna be there.
He ain't gonna be there.
You know who ain't gonna be here in a minute is Brett. So
this
Brett,
guy.
Before we kick you out of here, head to break and bring Steven. Give me your final thoughts for Survivor Series.
It was what we expected. It's what we talked about prior. It was thrown together. It was not a good product. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'd give it probably a D-.
Oh wow!
Ultimately.
That might be a little harsh for me.
And that's fine. But it's like, like I said, really the only match that I thoroughly enjoyed was the Cena Dom match. I didn't hate the women's match, but again, just no build-up, kind of just nonsense matches put together. It feels like a very sloppy product right now, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, and that's fair. He's not the only one saying that, people. And once again, if this is your first time checking us out, we are usually the positive podcast. We don't like tribalism over here. We watch all product. Hell, me and Ian were at Dynamite, like we said earlier last night, and now we're about to go talk about independent wrestling, and we just got done talking about Survivor Series. It's okay to like all pro wrestling. And Brett, we're going to get you to more indie shows. We got to get you to a Warrior show for sure.
I'll show up. 100%. It's going to be a little bit more difficult in the short
now.
term. In the short term, but as they get older, I'll 100% be able to make some stuff like that happen. So.
Hell yeah, I can't wait for that. And I can't wait to talk about the Warrior Wrestling Resurrection happening tomorrow night in Chicago, Illinois. So, Brett, we're going to get you the hell out of here. We're going to head to break, and we're going to bring our friend Steve in.
What's everybody saying about the On The Mark podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see him on your screen right now. You've seen him before on OTM. He's a regular now. He is the president of Warrior Wrestling. I'm glad I can finally say Warrior Wrestling again. It is Steve Tortorello, sir. Welcome back to OTM. How you doing?
I am great, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like we just talked to you, maybe 4 months ago about your last show? Yeah. And here we are. Resurrection's happening. The Warrior name is back. So I want to get straight to it, man. Why now? Why is Warrior Wrestling returning here at the end of 2025?
Great question. So to address the why it's coming back, we have to address why it went away. At the end of 2023, a number of things were happening. The industry had changed, especially for independent wrestling. With WWE and AEW having signed up so much talent, the landscape of independent wrestling had changed. Also, with AEW having elevated the independent variety style to a national platform, all of a sudden seeing that locally wasn't as unique because you can see it on Wednesdays or Fridays or Saturdays now all the time and see great wrestling. So, and on top of that, like, we were burned out, just personal stuff, organizational stuff. And we decided at the end of 23, we're going to put Warrior Wrestling on the shelf for a little bit. Because we could have kept running shows, and we did. We ran a bunch of one-off shows with breweries. But we didn't want to run shows that we didn't feel like were going to live up to the standard of what we felt a Warrior Wrestling show was. We didn't want to morph Warrior Wrestling or make it something different or something that it wasn't. Warrior Wrestling had been, at that point for 5-6 years, a super indie, right? A destination,
yeah.
Where guys and girls from different promotions all around the world cross paths for the first time, where it was an attraction. And we didn't want to make Warrior Wrestling not that anymore. So we decided rather than morph it or try different things with it, we'd take that Lamborghini, we'd put it in the garage, we'd cover it with a beautiful tarp, and we'd go out on some other rides for a while. And in the process of doing that and trying these brewery shows and learning more about live events and studying other elements of live entertainment, our team kept talking and talking and talking. And finally, about a couple of months ago, we went, you know what? We have an idea here for a way to present wrestling that we think is worthy of that Lamborghini that's in the garage. And it's a different version than what we were in 2018, 19, 20. But it's something that we think is going to be unique enough, fun enough, different enough for us to raise that flag and say, this is Warrior Wrestling. This is what sets us apart. And it's a combination of action, atmosphere, and A-list stars. And that combination of three things, after tomorrow, after December 5, I think everybody there and everybody who's going to see the clips online will get just a little bit of a taste of what our new vision of Warrior Wrestling is. So to answer your question, why now? Yeah, buddy, dude, we're ready.
You got me, dude. Like I want to get in the ring. I am ready for my Warrior Wrestling debut. You got me hyped up for that. But you don't want
tomorrow,
that.
Please.
Yeah, you don't want that tomorrow. Trust me.
Don't want you getting hurt. But
I was going to say, if I were to be there tomorrow, I'd probably show up in a Jordan Love jersey. I think the fans would have liked that, Steve.
Yeah, of course. As long as you were, managing the biggest heel on the show.
We could have an argument on who that truly is, honestly, on this card.
Fair.
True, actually.
Ian, why don't you fire off your first question for Steve over here?
Yeah, we'll start off with a match that I think actually, in all actuality, kind of deserves to be touted as the first match to talk about because it includes Mr. Warrior. He is both self-proclaimed at first, and now it's kind of nationally everybody knows it's Mr. Warrior. That's Sam Adonis facing off against the Southern Flamingo Cody Lane, which I do believe it is his first time in the Warrior ring or the WWE ring. But Sam Adonis, obviously we know him, Stadium Series. He was there pretty much at every single show. But I want to ask you, Steve, for Sam Adonis, what's the importance of having a guy like Sam Adonis in that locker room, and what does it mean to the guys in the back?
So first of all, Sam Adonis is world traveled. A lot of people know his lucha background, right? He worked CMLL for many years. He's worked AAA for many years. He works every independent all across Mexico. He's also done 3 tours with All Japan. He's also done the UK 4 times. He's also done 2 or 3 tours through Europe. This is a guy who knows everything in wrestling, has been everywhere. So when you say, what does he add to the locker room? He adds perspective. He adds experience. He adds a steady, calm hand to everybody in that locker room. He's a guy that people look up to, that they know his level of experience. He's like, in insider sports terms, he's the guy that all the star athletes are like, why isn't this guy starting on a team? Right? Like, because they know how good he is. So for that, he brings that to the locker room. But let me tell you what he brings to the fans as well. He is, as you said a minute ago, Mr. Warrior Wrestling. It wasn't going to be Warrior Wrestling unless we had certain elements. And one of those elements, one of those ingredients is Sam Adonis. It's not a Warrior show. It couldn't be a Warrior Resurrection unless he was part of it. So both for the locker room and for the fans, Sam makes it Warrior Wrestling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, as somebody that's gotten the chance to see Sam perform multiple times, it's great to have him back, and it wouldn't be fitting to have Resurrection without Sam Adonis. But I'm actually curious because I'm unfamiliar with Cody Lane. Is there something that stands out about him and the reason that you brought him in for this match?
Yeah, so we've always been watching, right, and booking different guys for the Brewery one-off shows we did. And Cody is a guy who's caught our attention over the last few years. He's been a very good wrestler for a long time, but in the last few years, he has really morphed and evolved into a fully polished final version of himself. He is not only great in the ring, he's unique in the ring, and he's a great character, and he's a great promo. He's a guy where if you lined up 25 independent wrestlers and Cody Lane was one of them, you'd walk away from that lineup remembering Cody Lane because of the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he looks, and the way he moves in the ring. He moves differently than the way other people move. He uses his body as a weapon differently than what you'll see from standard wrestlers. And so we really wanted to find a spot for him on the show because we think so highly of him. And we thought it was perfect to match him up with Sam. I think style-wise, size-wise, and character-wise, it's going to be a fun match.
No doubt about it. Styles clashing here with these two for sure. But we got an exciting matchup between these two guys right here. We got a Warrior Wrestling veteran in Beastman who has been known to cause chaos wherever he goes. And, of course, Sam Beal, who has had his fair share of matches as well with you guys over the past couple of years. And now all I have to say is for anybody there, hide your beer, because this one's going to be wild. And this isn't really a question. It's more of a statement. I think that these two guys are two of the most underrated talents currently in the indies. And I'm surprised that they are not on our television screens every week.
Agreed fully. And you saying hide your beer reminded me, I got to remind the venue to have mops ready. For those who don't know, Sam loves to chug some beers. He loves to toss some beers. And Beastman likes to destroy some stuff. So you put, and they're gonna open the show, by the way. So
there we go.
You might have broken the whole venue. Who knows? But to your point, Kyle, I think it's such a good point. I don't know why these guys aren't on television because, as I alluded to a moment ago with Cody Lane, they are what we call a fully realized professional wrestling act, right? Beastman just is. He walks like Beastman. He fights like Beastman. He falls like Beastman. There might be some trepidation in the big two companies because they present themselves a little bit differently now, and Beastman maybe would have fit perfectly in an early to mid 90s WWF or WCW. But my God, he fits anywhere he goes. He fits. He is such a great performer, and we are totally sold on him. And Sam Beal similarly. What a great guy who's really come into his own as the party dude coming out to Nickelback, belt full of beers, just like, yes, you see him and you go, I know that guy.
Hell yeah.
I hate it, but I love that guy.
That's a perfect way of describing Sam Beal for sure.
Yeah, I'll move on to the next match. So I'm going to be honest here, Steve. I don't really know how to bring up this next match because I know at least one of these guys you have had a long history with, but that is our very own. I love him, but Trevor Outlaw is going to be facing off against Richard Holiday. And Richard Holiday, another guy that he tends to he brings in the boo birds. Let's just say. In the city. So I want to ask you, Steve. Are you willing to put your bias aside to cheer on your Warrior guy, or are we still? I know you have some biases.
Yeah, in sports, sometimes when two teams that you hate are playing each other and you get asked who are you rooting for, you say I'm rooting for the Meteor to hit the stadium. I might be rooting for the Meteor in this match, right? Like we are even unofficially calling this the Battle of the Jagoffs. These are not like neither one of these has any redeemable qualities. Neither one is going to show sportsmanship. Neither one is going to follow the rules. I do not envy whichever poor referee draws the short straw and has to try to manage this match. I don't know what the crowd's going to do. I don't know if the crowd's going to like one over the other, if the crowd's just going to walk out on both of them. But, man, we're putting two jerks in the ring, and one of them's going to walk out victorious.
I was going to say, that's one of those matches where you're just booing both men and hope both walk out just a little bit sore afterwards. We're not asking for injuries, just a little sore,
I just want to put one recommendation. I know Trevor might be listening right now. Just wear a cup. You win. That's it.
Then you're presuming he has something to protect, which is a presumption.
Fair point.
And like Warriors saying in the comments, they are both jerks.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a couple questions, though, from people watching right now. Steve, you okay with answering a few from the fans?
So only if they're offensive and inappropriate.
You got the right audience here with OTM. Kind asks, who's a dream guy or a future dream that you would like to have work on a show for you?
Wow. Let me think for a minute. We've been so blessed.
Yes, you have.
When we started this show, we had Rey Mysterio in our second show. Will Ospreay was our champion. We had Takeshita wrestling Warhorse doing hurdles in a high school football stadium. We have had so many ridiculous dream gets that if I never get another one, I'm happy, first of all. I would say of who's still out there, maybe Okada.
Yeah.
I think he's just so incredible. And both versions of Okada, right? New Japan main event Okada and American scumbag heel Okada. I think both of those are incredible. So I put him on the list of a dream get. We've already had Mystico. We've already had Ospreay. We've had Suzuki. Suzuki.
Bro, how about one? I got one for you.
Please.
Mercedes Moné.
Yes. Done. Dream get. Okada, Moné. Those are the two.
Those are the top two right there. That's a good answer. I think Bill had a question too, Brett. Who's the biggest name you guys have ever promoted? What do you mean by promoted exactly, Bill?
Maybe we had on the show. In action, it'd be Rey Mysterio. We had Rey Mysterio in action. In fact, we were Rey Mysterio's last match before he publicly re-signed with WWE literally the next day. He did All In on a Saturday, us on a Sunday, and then signed with WWE on a Monday.
I feel like I remember that.
So in ring, it's Rey Mysterio, but we had Bret Hart for a signing for a show. We had Mick Foley for a signing. We had Kurt Angle for a signing. So I'd say those four names probably trump all the others as far as just name recognition to the general public.
The Warrior family tree is actually very large. I don't think a lot of people realize that. All the branches and connections that you now see on TV every single week, you could have seen at a Warrior Stadium Series show, at your former high school. It's just for an affordable price too. And that's what's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what we try to do, right? We try to combine, if you're coming to see a Warrior show, you're going to see a couple of big names, from TV, but we hope you're going to see 3 or 4 names that you'll see on TV soon. And that you get to say, I saw them in a high school football stadium. I saw them in a brewery with 300 people. We want that experience for you as a fan. We want you to be able to say, I met that guy and now he's the world champ.
Yeah, and I honestly, that brings me into, it's a question outside of the card, but it's one it kind of just fits in pretty well here. It was actually a conversation. Obviously, we were at Dynamite last night. Before, we actually talked about it at a bar. And we were going back, we brought up the Ospreys, we brought up Rey Mysterio. Those names, even Takeshita, before Warrior, Takeshita was he was a new AEW guy, I guess. Even then, he was just kind of half foot in the door, but I want to know from your experience, what do you like to see because obviously your resume is really good with promoting these guys and bringing these guys into Warrior, and now they're megastars. I want other bookers to just give other bookers a little keynote as to what you look for
Sure.
in talent.
I could talk for an hour about this, so thank you for asking. I love this.
The time is all yours, man.
Literally,
I know you got kids,
do a
though.
whole special on it. Yeah, at some point I've got to help my wife, my 3-year-old to bed. But I like to say there's 5 tools. There's ring work, promo work, look, character work, and presence. There's 5 tools in wrestling, and which ones matter more depends on, are you on TV, are you working indies, are you in Japan, are you in the US, are you in Mexico, etc. But someone who scores highly in all 5 of those is someone that we're looking for. And I've alluded to this earlier with talking about a couple of people. We want performers who have evolved to the fully realized version of themselves. So like, I don't know if you're Pokemon guys, but like, they're not like some people are the young Pokemon, right? And then they're stage 2 and then they're stage 3. Watching a performer grow and become the version of themselves that is all of their unique personality turned up to 11, all of the normalness cut out. And that's a big piece of it too. So many performers try to be everybody. They try to do everything. They try to mimic every indie style instead of figuring out, what do I do as a performer? Am I a power slamming treetop giant performer? Then be the best version of that. Don't try to be a flippin' dude. Right?
Big Trouble Ben Bishop's a perfect example of that.
Yes. So I once listened to a great interview. It was translated, a great interview with Minoru Suzuki. This is like 6 or 7 years ago, where they were talking about like a young up and coming star. And the person interviewing Suzuki goes, "Oh, he's great. He works all the styles. He blends all the things." And Suzuki goes, "And that's the problem." And Suzuki explained, like, here's the thing.
You don't stand out.
You and I can close our eyes and watch a Suzuki match. And it might, some people might go, "Oh, it gets repetitive. He does the same 10 things, whatever." Yeah, but that's what he does, right? Like AC/DC only uses 4 power chords. But if I hear a new song, it's an AC/DC song, I know it's an AC/DC song. Suzuki has a specific way he wrestles. And like, you know it going in and you're excited to see it. And so like, if another wrestling match has a slap or a forearm, you're like, okay. But when Suzuki throws a forearm, you're waiting for it. Mm-hmm. Suzuki is able to realize, here's what I'm going to do. Let me edit out all this stuff that isn't me. So to your question, what are we looking for? Those 5 tools, someone that hits all 5 of those tools, and someone who has began to edit away all the pieces that aren't what their pure character is going to be. I'll give you another real quick deep cut reference. Michelangelo, when asked about sculpting, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you sculpted the David. How did you do it?" And he goes, "It was easy. I just cut away all the parts of the stone that weren't David." And that is like what great performers need to do. They need to figure out what their kernel of truth is and cut away all the parts that aren't them. Look at Jake Parnell real quickly. Jake was in a tag team. There was the War Party, the War Raiders, whatever. And then he evolved into Warhorse. He loves metal. He's kind of funny, but he's also a badass. He loves getting all of those things are real about Jake Parnell. And he cut away all the stuff that wasn't his purest, most interesting bits of himself. And then he just cranked up his purest and most interesting bits of himself. So to answer your question, that's what we're looking for. Somebody who has figured out what is the thing I have and what makes me unique. And how do I cut away all the stuff that isn't that, like chiseling the David, and become that thing? And I'd like to think, not to pat ourselves on the back too much, we're good at seeing that. And we just happen to grab guys and girls who have done that. And then the powers that be in the big companies, every now and then, they're really good at seeing it too. And once those guys and girls get opportunities, they shine because they become who they were meant to be. Sorry, that was so long-winded.
No, loved it. Great answer.
It's not a coincidence. You'll see a name on the Warrior card, and then, oh, so-and-so just got signed to All Elite Wrestling, or, oh, they're reporting to the WWE PC. Just saying, people. That in itself is one of the many reasons why you should be buying a ticket tomorrow night at Half Acre Brewing in Chicago, Illinois. I think doors open at 5:30, right, Steve?
Yep.
And you're going to treat this like the normal setup YouTube clips and matches later?
Yep, absolutely. No live streaming, because frankly, the market is so saturated now. There's professional national wrestling on every night of the week. We don't want to compete with SmackDown. You know what? Watch SmackDown, watch whatever, catch our show later at your convenience.
That's the way to do it. If it works, keep doing it. But we got something that works, and that's the Warrior Women's title. It is returning, and I'm happy to say that. It is a very prestigious title, might I add, with the lineage going from the likes of Kylie Ray, who is a name you've probably heard before, anybody watching right now. You also have former AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa, current ROH superstar Athena, and of course AEW's own Sky Blue has held that title. And now tomorrow night at Half Acre Brewing, we have a 3-year Warrior vet in Tootie Lynn taking on someone who I believe is also making her Warrior debut in Nixie XS. So why don't you tell me a little bit about Nixie? Because I found her on X, and she has a very intriguing character that I would love to know a little bit more about.
Everything we just talked about in the question about what we're looking for, she checks every box, right? That woman walks into a room and every head goes, who's that? She has figured out what is unique about her and what makes her stand out, and she has leaned into it. She is the main girl. She is glamorous. She is cooler than you. She is made up. Like even her makeup pattern is a very specific makeup pattern.
Unique.
Yep, unique. That's our word. In fact, I didn't share this earlier when we were talking talent. We have an acronym we use, ICU, like intensive care unit. But for us, it's interesting, compelling, and unique. What makes you interesting? You grab my attention. Compelling, you make me want to see more. And unique, you stand out from everybody else in the same category as you. Nixie is ICU. She is interesting, compelling, and unique. And Tootie is as well. The little blue dragon, the martial artist, this incredible heart of gold, like literally like Kylie Ray, the most wonderful person you've ever met in your life. And she has trained as a martial artist and a wrestler and gotten better and better and better and better. And it's this girl next door who cut a promo this week in her fleece out in the snow in St. Louis, and this hot stuff, not girl next door who thinks that the world owes her. That is two personalities that I want to see fight.
So what does this mean to you, bringing back this title? Because like the names that I just mentioned, one of these two women right here are going to be alongside of them. So that basically guarantees that they also are going to be on TV after this. So congrats to either one of these women.
Hopefully not too soon. We'd like at least,
True. Give us a reign.
Yeah, geez. But that's why, right? Like we also are not willy-nilly with our belts. We are not willy-nilly with who gets a chance to hold up that logo on that belt.
Beautiful logo.
I am Warrior Wrestling. And so if someone's going to challenge for that belt, they better darn well be a fully realized version of themselves.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Yeah, and we brought up the next, in my opinion, kind of like the headliner of this match, if you want to go, quote unquote, mainly just because of the build up to this match, but that's Warhorse. Apparently he's back.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of Warhorses coming back. I'm worried because I know what we have been seeing out of this man, and he's not one to be trusted with. So I just want to say he's facing off against Mad Dog Connolly. We've seen him before in Warrior. The guy kicks ass. We got a guy that rules ass versus a guy that kicks ass.
Yeah, a lot of ass.
A lot of ass.
We love ass.
But I just want to ask you, are you a little concerned with Warhorse? Because it seems like his priorities are in a little different spot, especially when you have a guy like Mad Dog Connolly on the other side of the ring that will 100% take advantage of if Warhorse is a little bit going back and forth, let's say.
Sure. I am interested to see how he shows up tomorrow night. And I will say this, if he has, I don't think he went backward. I don't think he's going backwards from the Commissar to the Metalhead. I think he's growing into a new version of the 4,000 pounds of heavy metal in a way that is more mature, that is learned through the journey of Commissar Warhorse. In many ways, paralleling Warrior Wrestling. And it was around the same time that we went away, that Metalhead Warhorse went away. And it's around the same time that we're coming back and he's coming back.
Resurrection.
Both, you said it. Both having gone through periods in the darkness, found a stronger, newer version of themselves. And so that guy who's been through hell and been forged in fire, that guy can go toe-to-toe with the Mad Dog.
And these are two guys that, like, to me, pass the airport test. Like, you look at them, you're like, okay, I get it. These guys are stars. Like, when I went to your guys' first stadium show, that was, I believe, in 2019, that was my first introduction to Warhorse, and he immediately was the first person on the card that stood out. The ICU factor, if you will. And now you have him with Mad Dog. I mean, this is a match we haven't seen before, right?
No, we have not. And we've seen Mad Dog in our brewery shows, but we've not seen Mad Dog in Warhorse. And it's this is the match where, like, if you're in the first 3 rows, get ready to catch a tooth. Like, that's the. I mean, these guys are going to hit each other so hard in the face. They're going to slam each other against the steel beams of the ring. They're not going to be planchas and reverses, headlocks and toe locks. And no, this is going to be dudes beating the snot out of each other.
Toe locks, huh? So you're saying that's an option?
Not in this match. Maybe another match.
Yeah. Just asking for a friend that might be a wrestler who might be in the comment section. Who knows?
Armbar.
Right. Hey, one thing I know that's going to deliver here, because it always delivers at your shows, is tag team wrestling. And we got some great tag team wrestling here tomorrow night. And we got 2 Warrior staples with Latinos Most Wanted taking on the team of Better Together. Now, Better Together have been on the indie scene now for a couple years. What stood out for them? Because this is, once again, another new talent to Warrior and new to us here at OTM.
So 2 things, coming back to what we talked about earlier, Fully Polished Act. I've watched so many of their matches where I went, oh, these guys are good. These guys are going to be on TV, just because they know who they are and they know how to be who they are for an audience. So Fully Polished Act, super impressive, very athletic, great in the ring, get who they are. The other, and this is always important for us as well, pulling the curtain back a little bit, who vouches for whom? And Big Trouble Ben Bishop told me when we were having a conversation about talents all across the indies, he said, hey, you really got to take a chance on these guys if you get the opportunity to. He goes, I have worked with them. They're the real deal. So for what we saw with our eyes and what we heard from someone whose opinion we really trusted, we went, let's bring these guys in. Let's see what they got.
And it's safe to say they're going up against one of the greatest tag teams in Warrior Wrestling history too. So what a better test.
Yep, and it'll be awesome. Just the action, the styles clash between how these 2 teams fight and which of those styles is going to prevail. It's going to be a lot of fun.
No doubt.
Yeah, and speaking of guys that we've seen in Warrior, I just want to say, if there was a second Mr. Warrior title, I think it could go to this man, and that's the base god Gringo Loco. You're Warrior Lucha champion. As he's facing off Rey Oris. And Rey is also a guy that we've seen before. He faced off in the triple threat against Vikingo and Flamita in a triple threat in South Bend, Indiana, pretty close to our hometown. So
I was there.
I loved that match. That was one of the all-time great matches that Warrior
posted. Yeah.
So if you want to watch a full match, I watched it before this, you can. But I'm just going to take a shot in the dark on this prediction. This match is going to steal the show. I know what Gringo Loco could do. I've seen him many, many times, and I look forward to it every single time. And what he's done and what he does for Warrior continuously, just knowing kind of backstage a little bit, that guy deserves a second title of Mr. Warrior.
Absolutely.
Well, he's got a title. He's got one.
Correct.
Yeah. He started with us at Warrior Wrestling too. So of the 40-ish shows we've done, he started at number 2, that show that had Rey Mysterio. And he's done, I'd have to count, probably 15 or 20 of the Warrior shows. Absolutely, he is one of the Mr. Warrior Wrestlings, and he is one of the most underrated people in the world. Again, coming back to guys who should be on TV, Tony Khan's had him on Ring of Honor 100 times. TK, what are you doing? Right? Bring the man to the big roster. He's just so incredible athletically. He works with everyone of every style. You could not ask for a more professional dude to work with. He just totally inhabits the best of indie wrestling, the best of lucha wrestling. And that's why he's holding that title, right? Like, he is somebody that represents us and represents us well. And across the ring is Rey Horace, who's been on a handful of shows, as you alluded to. Rey Horace, going all the way back to AAA, to Lucha Underground, has been a guy who just delivers every time he's in a match. He may not be the flashiest name. New fans might not know him when you go into the show. You're going to walk away from the show knowing who he is. And I second your prediction. This might steal the show.
So the title is on the line, too, for this match, correct?
Absolutely. This is the title match.
So we have 2 title matches then on this card?
Yes, sir.
Oh, how about that? Bigger card, too, than usual. I shouldn't say than usual. You did the Pro Wrestling Ventures. That was the 5-match card thing. And now are we going back to the 8-match card setup, probably?
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get as big as some of the biggest Warrior cards. I think our biggest Warrior card was 11 matches, which somehow worked but it was an exhausting, long day.
Oh, I bet.
And I think as a booker and a creative, Eric and I, more of my fault than his, had to learn control and learn editing ourselves. But it's an 8-match card because we wanted to show all of the different elements of what a Warrior show is, right? So we mentioned earlier, it's not going to be a Warrior show without Sam Adonis. It's also not going to be a Warrior show without a lucha match. It's not going to be a Warrior show without a tag match. It's not going to be a Warrior show without a women's match. It's not going to be a Warrior show, and on and on and on and on. And for this show specifically, there were specific elements or notes we wanted to strike in putting this show together. It doesn't mean every show will be 8 matches going forward, but this one was because we wanted to make sure that everybody in that building got a taste of the buffet of all the different flavors of Warrior Wrestling.
And you definitely nailed it with this card. And it started with an announcement of AEW superstar Willow Nightingale being announced, and she is going to be a part of the main event. You had the Willow Open Challenge, and Johnny Robbie answers that challenge coming into Chicago to face Willow tomorrow night. Now, everyone watching this or listening later to this show, they know about Willow. She's awesome. We love Willow Nightingale. But once again, Johnny Robbie is stepping up to the plate here in this Open Challenge, and another newcomer getting the main event spot against one of the biggest names in all of women's wrestling. What can we expect from this main event between two world-class superstars?
I think a heck of a fight, a heck of a styles clash, right? Willow is a power wrestler. She's got the pounce. She's got power bombs. She's got big strength. Johnny throws a lot of kicks, a lot of knees. She does a little bit of flying maneuvers here and there.
I've seen her tape.
Oh, she's awesome. Awesome. We're so excited to have her. And it's an attitude difference too, right? Willow is the power of positivity, smile anyways, just like a ray of sunshine. The horns of her music hit and everybody perks up. Johnny is Southern California, I don't care, brush you off attitude in a way that is like, oh, all right, okay. Like, damn. Like it is a totally different vibe. And so not only athletically are they going to match up in a really interesting way, who their personalities are is going to match up in a really interesting way as well.
Yeah, and it's crazy that once again, just another big name coming to this card with Willow Nightingale. I wasn't familiar with Willow until she showed up in AEW, and what she has done on television is great. So the fact that you can go see her tomorrow night in Chicago, Illinois, that is awesome. And Johnny Robbie, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is definitely one of those moments that she could look back at and be like, this is what kind of propelled me to that next step of my career.
When I talked to Johnny about taking the match, she was floored. She's very excited. And also for Willow, too, coming back to that, I get to see him in a small venue. The Wednesday after tomorrow, so tomorrow's Friday, 4 days later, she's wrestling to possibly be the first AEW Women's Tag Team Champion as the Babes of Wrath against Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So you're going to see her in a brewery with 320 other people, and then you're going to see her maybe win the first belt and beat Toni Storm on Wednesday. Like, again, you cannot find a better ticket, a better experience to be that up and close and personal to big TV stars. There isn't one out there.
There isn't. And this is coming from guys that have attended multiple different independent promotions. We constantly keep coming back to you guys. Unfortunately, once again, we won't be there tomorrow because I am going to Green Bay this weekend for Packers Bears. So that was already in the plans before you guys announced. So I think you're just going head to head with my plans now, Steve.
Well, I'm sorry, but stay tuned. We are shortly tomorrow night going to announce the next date as well. So I don't think it will in any way interfere with Packers Bears. It shouldn't.
Well, unless there's playoff football going on. I don't know the date. I'm just speculating.
Weekend into Green Bay again as well. But but stay tuned. So enjoy the game. You and I will be rooting for different outcomes. But
all of you guys are against me. Everybody here that's in the comment section, Steve, everybody on the show, you're all Bear fans.
You brought it up, man. You brought this on yourself.
Well, and also too, like from a moment, I understand rivalries lasting forever, but from a momentum standpoint, like this ain't the Packers. Like this is the Bears here, man. Like there's
okay
in that bottle.
Okay, how many times have I heard that, Steve?
Never. I have never said it's the Bears year. Every year I'm like,
I feel like I've heard it, but maybe you haven't. I'm not saying you. But hey, let's go Packers from Kine in the question. It's go Pack go, Kine. That's what you're supposed to say. But Steve, you got time to answer maybe one or two quick questions from the chat?
Of course, please throw them at me.
What we got, Brett? I think Kind's got a couple questions. Oh, here we go from Bill. Do you guys have a rival promotion? I don't think you guys do.
So we don't think so. I mean, there's maybe one promotion out there that doesn't like us very much, but like we have always taken the attitude. And this is true just in life, let alone wrestling, of a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So like I'll tell you some promotions we get along with great. Freelance wrestling. When we started Warrior Wrestling, Matt Nix from Freelance and I had an hour-long conversation on the phone about all the things he was hoping to do with Freelance, what we were hoping to do with Warrior, and how we could help each other out. Black Label Pro in Crown Point, Indiana, Mikey out there is great to work with, right? Chicago-style wrestling has been wonderful to work with. Even across the country, we worked with the guys in Defy. We've worked with West Coast Pro, right? So there are people out there who have been really wonderful to work with. And our attitude has always been, a rising tide lifts all boats. So in a city, in a state, in a region, one wrestling promotion doing well doesn't hurt the other promotions. It means more people are interested in wrestling. Awesome. Like invite the other promotions to pass out flyers for their shows at your show. We do that all the time. We have an open policy and everybody knows this. Like you're promoting a show next week. Awesome. Come hand out flyers at our show. Happy to do that.
That's awesome.
I don't think we have a rival promotion. I think we've worked really hard to be good neighbors with everybody and to toe that line or fly that flag of a rising tide lifts all boats. Let's help wrestling get better.
That's really what it is all about, Steve. Because like I don't know if you know too much about what we do over here, but we are a part of a podcast network. We do a bunch of other things with bloggers and other shows. We're all coming together because, like you said, a rising tide elevates everybody else, because you're not going to go far if you're just trying to bury other promotions or other people, because if you're just working together, we can all succeed. We can all win in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a reason why, like if you're driving around, there's a cluster of the same type of stores all by each other. And you're like, well, that's weird. Well, because that's where people are going to get there's a Lowe's across from a Home Depot, across from a Menards. Why? Because that's where people all know. That's where I go for my home improvement stuff. And I might shop at one store one day or in a different store another day. But that's the neighborhood I go to for home improvement or for fast food or whatever it might be. Same thing with wrestling. If you're a fan, you want to come to wrestling, look at all the options. Come explore it all. Like us being visible to one another and visible to the fans is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think Kind has another question, Brett. Is there anyone in WWE you'd like to have on a show? That would probably be pretty tough if they were an active WWE superstar.
Yeah, contractually it's not possible. They don't allow their stars to take other outside bookings. But I mean, yes, if that changed, I mean, go down the list. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. I mean, there's just some Drew McIntyre, who we knew back from his Drew Galloway days. Go down the list of just incredible dudes and girls in that position. Hell yeah.
Dial 1-900 Warrior and we'll give you the real story. I think
give him a break.
Can we sing happy birthday to Henry?
I guess we should.
We'll say happy birthday to Henry.
Happy birthday, Henry.
Happy birthday, man. It's good to see you hanging out with us on your birthday. Bill's got one final question. We'll end it off here with Bill. He asked, would you guys maybe want to book the Grizzled Young Veterans?
Heck yeah. I traded some DMs and messages with them a few years ago when they came onto the indie scene.
Oh.
Absolutely. For me, it's always a question of what's the right match. So like sometimes other promotions do things differently than we do, and that's fine, right? Different strokes for different folks. But we don't like book talent we like and then try to figure out where they fit on a show. We try to figure out what's the whole show before we start booking talent. So right, if we were to bring in the GYV, who do they match up well against? Style-wise, size-wise? Okay, if we invest in that match, that might go here in the show. That means we wouldn't do this match. We'd save that for another show and things like that. And it just never really aligned where it makes sense, where it's slotted in. There's been some dates where, like, we're interested and they're busy. And it would have worked for our show, but they're booked already. And other dates where they're open, but it doesn't fit for our show. It's interesting, booking a wrestling show. Imagine if you had, like, an Excel spreadsheet, and on the one axis is all the talent, and across the top is all the possible dates for your show. And you're like looking to like, when can talent be free to make these things? It is like an LSAT puzzle. Like it's crazy. So yes, we're interested in the GYV. Just a matter of when do those dates line up with when they're free with the match we think might work that fits right for the show, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but it also sounds very confusing for you to orchestrate and be the puppeteer, if you will, and figure it all out. But you did a terrific job with this show happening tomorrow. Ian, you got any final questions, any final comments for Steve before we send him off?
Yeah, no, I think what you have constructed, what you and the Warrior team have constructed, is the perfect resemblance of Warrior Resurrection, because looking just at the card in general, like you said it best, it feels exactly like a Warrior show that we saw during the 2020 times at the Stadium Series. You know you're going to get your lucha. You know you're going to get your mainstays under the Warrior umbrella, and you also have some new faces that you really like. I don't know, but if I go there, I know for a fact you know how to book talent. Which why we asked you on what you look for, and I just can't wait to see where Warrior goes from here.
Yeah, and I'm going to be paying attention to tomorrow and see if I can find out what date that's going to be for the next show, because I'm going to make sure my schedule is all clear so we can finally reunite. Because the last time I was there, I hung out with you guys, I believe in, where was it? Milwaukee? Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah. It was in Cincinnati when I got to hang out with you guys, and that show was fantastic as always.
God, what a fun show! The Outrunners against Beastman.
I drank the Outrunners, or the Outrunners drank my beer when I was just hanging out.
What a fun show that was! I can tell you this too. So anyone listening in that area, we're coming back to Cincinnati in early 2026. Stay tuned for an announcement. Our date's already picked and everything.
Well, that's good news for us because we got friends in Cincinnati. So I think we could definitely make that happen once again. So Steve, before we go, why don't you tell the people where they can find you and what is going down tomorrow night in Chicago?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow's Warrior Wrestling Resurrection, Friday, December 5th, tomorrow at Acre Brewery. We're essentially sold out, but we don't want to turn anybody away. So, we're not counting. We'll take your money and smush you in at the door. Because we truly don't want anybody to miss it, right? We have worked so hard to put this show together. We don't want a fan who comes up to the door and be turned away into the cold, literally. So come out there. If you buy your tickets online, there's 5 left online. Buy them online if you can't get them online. Come out and get them at the door. We're on all the socials at Warrior Wrestling: X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't know, LinkedIn maybe if you want to connect us to your corporate overlords. Just search Warrior Wrestling wherever you go. There's links to the show in all of those places. Come out and see us and be watching YouTube for the clips after tomorrow.
I know we'll be watching. We can't wait. Warrior Wrestling is officially back. Resurrection tomorrow night. Steve, we hope you have a great show, and thanks again, man, for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Great to see you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks, go Pack, go.
Oh.
I had to get that in. And then he's out of here. See, he's like, all right, I'm never coming back to this show ever again.
Well, now I'm stuck here with you after you had to make that dumb remark.
Hey, Brett. How you doing, bud?
Dying slowly inside.
Oh, is it past your bedtime?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Did you enjoy our conversation with Steve? I know you're not tapped in with the indies, but you got to learn some stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely go from just a different perspective of things. Just seeing the passion behind it.
Yeah.
It's like just thinking about it and listening to everything that's going on. It's like, man, I wish some of the bigger names, bigger brands would take it as passionate or be as passionate about it. Just talking about it. You could tell that there's a lot of investment, personal investment, that they take into it, and obviously it's what makes those shows, indie shows, really so fun to go to.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking, Ian, when he was talking. I was like, how does he not have a bigger spot in professional wrestling? Just his mind. I felt like I learned so much about professional wrestling just by having that conversation tonight.
Yeah, and we know how insane Steve is about wrestling in general, but there are other independent companies that I'm sure have just as bright as minds as him. That's why they're joining the circus of running an independent wrestling show, and that's kind of the beauty of independent wrestling is the people that are in charge of the shows would be willing to buy the ticket that you are buying for their show. These guys all love wrestling, and that's why they're in the business for a reason. So that is why independent wrestling is so good. That's why we all love it and why everybody should support it, no matter what kind of show it is. If it's one in a warehouse somewhere, go to that one as well, because I'm sure there are some really good matches out there that we just don't see.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the network that say it, and I'm going to reiterate it too. Support independent wrestling. It is the lifeblood of pro wrestling. But Ian, I'm going to need you to head to the private chat because I decided that we are going to have the MVM on the line tonight. You know, usually when we do interviews, we don't put the title on the line, but when we have Steve returning like he does almost every other month, it feels like a normal conversation. So I think it was fair that we would do the MVM here. So I'm gonna have to go to the private chat and see what we're thinking here, boys. What's the conversation like? You know what? I like that. I like that idea. I like that vote. Okay, so a little change of plans, if you will. Like I said, wasn't going to do it, but hey, we have a new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Warrior Wrestling. Wow. We just gave a title to a company.
Yep.
Wait, so does that mean that title gets defended tomorrow?
I think so.
Yeah, you'll have to send a message to Steve. I think.
No, I hope Henry is still watching. Henry, Are you watching? Because you now are the official MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. What a turn of events, boys.
Yep.
Kind's comment. our loyals are fucking hating us. We did kind of sell out, though, didn't we?
Yeah, but
I don't
okay.
listen. Nobody's selling out. Nobody's selling out. We're here.
We're
promoting
a show.
We're promoting a great brand of wrestling. We're having a great, genuine conversation, getting this out there on our platforms for our listeners. This is a win-win for everybody. This is showing our respect for them for taking the time out of their day to come here, have a conversation with us, the chat. So
you know what?
It's well deserved.
Cut the bullshit. Kine and Billy need to be better.
Wow.
No, Kine and Billy, you guys were fantastic because they don't even know about this. I mean, they're not even close to this independent, and they hung out for the entire show. So we do appreciate you guys. Don't forget, though, I sent out the graphic earlier today on X. The OTMEs are coming your way 2 weeks from today. We still have to figure out how we are going to do the voting. I know it's very last minute. Oh, you know what?
Send the bell.
I tweeted it out, Warrior, so you could brag about it. You are the official most valuable mark of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast now. Now you can add that to your resume as long as Will Ospreay, Eddie Kingston, and all those great names.
Yeah,
pretty much the same
just
thing.
Give it to Will Ospreay and he'll bring it to the Tokyo Dome again. And then our brand will be on the Tokyo Dome. That's easy.
We don't actually have a physical belt, though. That's the problem. We have stickers. We could send Henry stickers.
It's true. We could.
Or they could just buy our shit and keep the lights on over here because, guys, it costs me a lot of money. I'm kidding. It doesn't cost that much money. We love doing this, but if you would like to support us, it is the holiday season. Head on over to the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. We got a OTM holiday crew neck that Ian wore live on AEW Dynamite last night. We also have Main Event Wrestling Network merch on that website. I was repping that on Dynamite last night. So head on over to the merch store. Make sure you're following us on all the socials to keep up with things. I'm trying to think, guys, with the calendar. After the OTMEs, would that be Christmas? So we're off that week then?
Yep.
I would imagine so, yes.
So, yeah, we will be off the 25th, which means, that OTMEs would be the final show of 2025 then. There it is.
And then the following week is New Year's Day, so I don't know if we're still doing New Year's Day, but
we'll do it hungover.
No, I could do it. No, I could do New Year's Day. All I do is watch
was
football.
just saying, it's 2 technically holidays in a row. So
I'm just saying.
I gotta work in the morning.
Oh, don't we all? I'm running on 4 hours of sleep somehow. I don't know how we're still here, but we appreciate you guys, and thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.